Hello and welcome to the second episode of Not Another Football Podcast. I'm Luke and this is Ollie, and we're here to have a weekly football podcast about the Premier League. And today's topic is obviously going to be Liverpool v Chelsea, as by the title. Laughing already because I feel like you're going to be in a bit of a bad mood, because if you're new to the channel, which you will be considering we only had 12 misses last week, then Ollie's a Chelsea fan and I'm a Liverpool fan. And it was a big game today, and it went quite well for me. How are you feeling about it, Ollie? Should probably start with you.
Yeah, all the more pleased to see your smug little face.
I can't help but be happy about it, mate.
Yeah, I felt like you got away with it a little bit, to say the least.
To say the least.
Yeah, I didn't think you, I heard his comments after the game about saying, oh, he should have had all of those decisions, but I mean, the penalty was a penalty, but I didn't think the second one was. I think the second one was a 50-50 from the two angles. The one angle, the lower angle, he looks like he gets the ball first, and then he goes over the top of him. But then the other angle, it does look quite bad. So I would say 50-50 on the penalty.
Looked like it cleaned him out.
What about Sancho's penalty, actually, while we're at it?
I mean, how many soft penalties do you want?
Well, I mean, if he's claiming for that one, that's a penalty, right?
I don't know. If it's given against you, you're going to be screaming. I don't think that's a penalty. But to be honest, with the I was kind of the same with the Jones one. I wasn't really sure. When you see him full speed, I think it is a pen. And then when you see one of the angles, it shows that Sanchez got the ball first. And then Carragher on Sky was obviously saying how that's kind of gone out the game now. If you get the ball first and stuff, you follow through. I'm surprised they overturned it though. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those that I thought, whatever decision's given, that if he doesn't give the pen, I don't think VAR is going to say go to the monitor, have another look.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it was.
Wouldn't mind having another look at that Sancho one, because I thought that was definitely a pen.
I don't think it was.
He does take his foot though, right?
Yeah,
you can't argue with that. He doesn't take any of the ball.
Yeah, but it's like his standing leg catches him slightly, and then Sancho just jumps. But Gary Neville wasn't too quick to point that one out, was he, as a dive? I mean, when it came to Salah getting a knee in the back ever so slightly, granted it's not a pen, he's like, I should be booked for diving. And it's like, well, there's a little bit of contact. It doesn't always have to be a dive, does it? Because if we're going into that realm, then I don't think he should dive.
I don't think he should have got booked for diving, but I don't think Sancho. I think any player's going down with the touch, especially Salah, if that's on the other way round in the other box.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have got that either.
But no, we didn't deserve. Did we deserve to get a draw? Yes, but did we deserve to win the game? Definitely not.
I bet you were going mad though during the game.
Yeah, there was a few mad bits, but I actually thought, on reflection, that when we came to your place last year, we got battered. What was it, 3-0, 4-0? I don't know. I can't remember what the game was.
4-1, I think. And Kunku scored.
And Kunku came. Yeah, we didn't get a kick all game, and no possessions. Stats doesn't mean anything, but I did feel like we were. You didn't dominate us for the whole game, which I felt like you did the last time we came there. So
you had more possession, actually.
57%, Luke.
I know.
Up to stats.
Ollie stats. Yeah. Only 2 shots on target, though.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That doesn't sound great, does
it? No, I mean,
I didn't think we got Madueke into the game anywhere near enough in the first half. Maybe for like 5 to 10 minutes at the back end of the first half. I thought Neto was excellent when he came on. To be fair, he's definitely got to start next game for us. He was class when he came on.
Yeah. I thought Madueke actually was doing all right when he actually got the ball. Obviously squared up Robertson a few times. Had Robertson struggling, at least wary. Had to get Gakpo to come in a lot to help him double up. But for some reason, you decided just not to utilise that.
No, didn't get the ball out quickly enough to him really. But it's not really Lavi's game really. Is that's probably his weakest part of his game for the little bits that I've seen with him is his kind of passing out wide. But
Mm,
yeah, it wasn't much better when Enzo came on, to be fair. So
no,
not too
it's
much
pretty
criticism.
unanimous.
But what did you think anyway?
I'm obviously very happy with the 3 points. I knew it was going to be a difficult game, so I'm laughing because it sounds like I'm a bloody footballer that he sent out after the game. Yeah, I'm happy with the 3 points. Team played well. I think no, but I knew it would be a difficult game. So you guys have started quite well. Um, it's only the first game of the season you didn't score, obviously against City. So you've been pretty clinical, and obviously you create a lot of chances going forward. So I knew it would be a proper test for us. So I'm just glad that obviously we came through unscathed. Good win. Curtis Jones played really well on the match, which
Your best mate.
my best mate. Yeah,
Every
love him.
time I did stick I was like, fuck off, Luke. You slag him off to high heaven, and then he had an absolute worldie against us.
I just think sometimes he's a bit too slow, and that showed in the penalty decision. Obviously, he didn't get in the end, but I mean, if he just takes that chance quickly, um,
Mm,
then there's no debate. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, he did play really well. Obviously, his job was to stifle Palmer, and I think he did a really good job with that.
yeah,
And then obviously he did from an attacking point deep runs, which showcased in winning the penalty, obviously winning the second penalty then overturned, and the goal. All runs from deep, and all after following, tracking back, sticking on Palmer, and doing good defensive work as well. So to be fair to him, he was really good. Deserved
yeah,
man of the match. And then,
definitely.
I mean, that leaves us in a very nice spot at the moment. Obviously, top of the league. So I'm starting to grow confident with each week that's passing that maybe we can win it. I mean, I've gone from 5% to 7% now,
It's like my battery life on this Mac. But yeah, I still think you'll win it. I still think you win it. If City get a points deduction, I think you'll win it.
Mm. Well, at the moment,
If
would be the best team place to take advantage of that. But I mean, that's a big if. They reckon that might happen at the end of the year as well. They were saying, but I'm not sure about that.
yeah, yeah,
I think overall, though, in the game, I think we were good for a win. I know you guys were a threat. If it was a draw, I couldn't complain. It's not one of those that you complain
no,
and say, I can't believe we drew that. Where the
no,
hell did he get 7 minutes from, by the way?
yeah, that was. But I mean, that chance we had at the end as well, the last kick of the game, come across. I don't know who missed it. Maybe
From Kunku
um,
at the back post.
Kunku across. You're thinking that's a goal, but not just that one at the back post, the one in the 96th minute where
Which one's that?
I think it's gone across to Gusto, and then
Robertson blocked
they
it.
were all, yeah, Robertson blocked it. That was a good chance as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded if that went in, but yeah, like I say, you as annoying as it was, it couldn't be too frustrated for us not to get a draw because, like I said, we didn't create as we didn't create enough. We had enough possession. I didn't realise it was as low as 2 shots on target, but we certainly didn't look
Mm.
out of place. I thought Caicedo was excellent. I thought he was really, really good. But Chelsea's failings are going to be the same failings. I feel like we're going to be until January, and that is the goalkeeper in net, and also strangely, I thought Colwell was awful today. He had an absolute pest in Superman.
He
Big
did.
fan of him. He was dreadful, wasn't he? He was some of his decision making and passing was terrible. I actually thought Buddy Shield was very good when he came on as well. Actually,
Yeah, he
which
had a good
was
battle with Nunes, didn't he? To be fair, and obviously both
yeah.
of them got a little bit
How was
silly.
that first one not a yellow card, by the way?
The first one, when
First
he
one made
slid
what, like
out
10.
by the touchline.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
took his back legs and then he let it go.
I don't
But I
know.
think if Buddy Shield doesn't react, then he gets booked for that.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, maybe that did save him. But to be honest, I thought the ref was terrible. I mean,
Yeah,
there was certain times like shoulder to shoulder, and he's giving fouls, and
Yeah.
There was times as well like he's delaying giving the foul, so like you think, okay,
Mm.
right, he didn't give it, and then 3 seconds go by, which doesn't sound like much, but obviously you think you're going away with the ball, and then he blows back. It's like, oh my god, I thought he really
Yeah.
struggled, and ruined
Yeah.
the game from that side of things of letting it flow. But I mean, it doesn't really matter about the ref at the end of the day, I guess. There wasn't any major howlers that cost the game. It was
No.
just, I thought it was just shit. It was just shit. But to be fair, like you were saying, with the two shots on target though, I feel like that's the classic, isn't it? Eye test versus stats. Because to be fair, you did feel like you were very dangerous.
We had a lot of break. They weren't like the breaks as well that we had were like, yeah, in dangerous positions. We just didn't make anything of it, and that's why I think he dragged Sancho off at half time. Or I think he would have. I think if he didn't have to change Lavia and James early on, I think he would have obviously introduced Felix at like maybe 70. That's what he
Mm.
usually tends to do. But it kind of used up all the subs and went with Kunku at left wing, but no good there at all. I think he's going to really struggle because, like we said last week, he plays in Palmer's position in the 10. So, like, where does he possibly get in?
Yeah.
Not going to.
No,
Yeah.
and it's a shame, really. He was obviously came in with high expectations, and then now he's just sub impact player at the moment.
Yeah, it's like that chance that he had at the end, the back post. It's just like if he's playing regularly, he scores that,
Hmm.
no doubt. He's not
Yeah,
got quality.
that
Yeah,
was a
back behind.
classic as well, by the way. Gomez.
What's up?
That was a classic.
I couldn't
Go.
believe it when you brought him on.
I
Why did you
think.
bring him on?
Well, I mean, Trent's been getting subbed quite a bit under slot, and I don't know if it was one of those that and Kunku comes on fresh legs, very direct, and he was thinking, Gomez is better defensively than Trent, and Gomez is fresher, so maybe that's
Yeah,
why.
I
But
thought
that summed
I
up
thought
Gomez
Trent was
though.
ex.
Yeah, Trent
Yeah.
did well. He did do well, but Gomez summed up in like the space of 2 minutes. He in the lead up to that chance, I'm sure it was like a minute or two beforehand. He made a great interception, on the cover, tucking in, making sure that through ball didn't get through. Brilliant. That's like, yeah, perfect. It's what we want. It comes on. That cross, he just falls asleep. He just lets
Mm.
Nkunku run off him. If he equalises,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, obviously, it's been highlighted. And it's just classic Gomez. He's a
Yeah.
bit of a sleeper. And we nearly got
Yeah.
caught out by it, but overall he did well. Obviously, when they missed the chance, it doesn't matter ultimately. But overall, he did well when he came on, even though Trent did have a good game. I thought as well, like,
Mm.
even though Robertson struggled initially early on, I think because the fact that you couldn't get the ball out to Madueke as much to target him, he grew into the game and got better, which is probably a sign of the type of player he is. He is a bit of a fighter for us. We don't have many players that like seem to wear their heart on their sleeve as much as he does, other than obviously like Nunez, for example. But I think he plays himself into the game quite well. A little bit worried long term with him because obviously he's getting older, and I don't think he'll ever get quite to the heights of like 17, 18, 18, 19 sort of time.
Mm.
So we probably need to start looking for a more longer term option solution because Simicast isn't it. Decent backup, but yeah, if Robinson could be on the way, and it's probably time to start looking for someone there. But ultimately, I still think he grew into the game and did very well for us in the end. So it's a plus as well to grid it out. I think with us, it was one of those games where it's the old cliche, isn't it? Like, oh yeah, champions win it.
Mm.
Like title challenges, champions win those games. I think people who are
Yeah.
going to drop off, which we could still do because it's incredibly early, but it's just one of those where people just say, they got through it, they showed grit, changed the game
Yeah.
when we needed to, controlled it a little bit more, let you have a bit more and sit back, less gung ho than we would have been under Klopp. I think we
Yeah.
still would have gone for that third goal under Klopp, which you can see a
Yeah.
little bit that still exists in the players because I think in like the 94th, 95th minute, whatever it was, we win the ball back when you try and counter.
Mm.
And then we played it to Diaz thinking, oh, he's going to go into the corner or something like that. And then he just sort of ambled his way as if he was going to go, and all of a sudden he just made a little jinking run into the box and had a shot, and it went
Yeah,
over, and then you managed to get like another chance to attack. And it's like that's like the old, I think, Klopp style mentality. Obviously, had a good few years with him, so hard to get out. But I think Slot will probably want to change that a little bit.
yeah. He sounded a bit prickly in the press conference after I was listening to him about the decision, so maybe he's not happy about something else. But
But
yeah, I felt like you still played into your like strengths of old though, because I felt like in the first half or certain stages of the first half, we had you well pinned in,
yeah,
like in terms of like we had Colwell tossing them both on way deep into your half and
hmm
the surrounding fullbacks, but you just do the classic thing where you just ping it up to Salah and he just pins the defender. He's so good at that. And Gakpo, like you just hit them and they pin you on the break and then you're out so rapid. Yeah, just classic Liverpool. But
well, to be fair,
yeah, I think you'll do really well this season. I think you will win it if City get deducted.
hopefully. I mean, obviously, because it just gives us a better chance. So, yeah, I'm not going to complain if they did. But it's like you were saying. To be fair, we started quite well, and then that phase of the game came where you were having more of the ball and you were pushing us back.
Mm,
Obviously pinning us back a little bit more, and that's when you were getting those like nearly moments. Obviously, Cole Palmer having that chance and Jones doing well to get back at him. But it feels like it was the one where Neville said Salah dived. That was what got the fans going again. There was like a bit
yeah,
of the animosity, and I think you gave away the ball quite quickly after that. And again, it just got the fans up again. And
yeah,
then you brought us back into the game with that a little bit.
yeah, yeah. And that chance as well that you spoke about with this Jones block, there was also one in the first half where he took it inside and just hit it over the bar. Palmer,
Yeah.
you're thinking that goes a different game, but yeah, yeah. We got work to do now in terms of with Brighton and Villa back above us. Villa look, yeah, dangerously strong, annoyingly strong.
Yeah. So you're thinking that how are you after that really though? Because to be fair, it's not like you said you didn't come and get pummeled. You came and gave a good account
No,
for yourself.
no, it's good, but it shows a little bit about like it exposed our deficiencies, I guess, at the top level. And the top level is only going to be, we've already played you and City already, so there's only arguably, with Arsenal included, there's only what is there, 4 more of those games to go, out of the 30 remaining. So I think we'll only get really exposed in those games against the top teams, but those exposures are that Enzo isn't good enough to play. He obviously doesn't trust him enough to play
£100 million
against the top. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. It's
That's
that
crazy.
is what it is. You can't change the fee. But he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't back him there. Colwell is I feel like rash and still learning. And he will, I think, go on to become a really really top player. Hopefully with us. But he is inexperienced. He's only got one real full season behind him, or season and a half. And then you've got the players up front in terms of like that was the worst of Sancho that you've seen, and yeah, Neto looks more comfortable coming and backing off the right. So yeah, I think in summary, it's just frustrating because I feel like there was a draw there, and you didn't have to be at your top level to beat us. So that is a little bit frustrating, but
Mm.
yeah, you're not expecting to win against you or Liverpool, especially in the first 8 games when it's usually going to take a manager like Maresca to mold that squad and that team. Is going to take him a bit longer to do it. So you're not expecting to beat you and City in those games.
Yeah, true. And I think to be fair though, you've shown enough so far this season that would give you hope that you can make top four. I mean, if you compare this
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
start of
yeah.
last
It's
season,
not. Yeah, yeah. It's not a non-starter where it was 8 games in last season. So yeah, we're only 3 points behind Villa. and obviously way closer to Brighton as well. So, yeah, not a no hoper, just very frustrating. And I think he's got to make the change in that, because that's going to cost us so many points if he doesn't make that change.
He's so
So bad. He's so bad.
he's got that like real as if he's dead chill on the ball, like oh yeah, like the Edison sort of um that's how he feels. That's like how he thinks he is. Yeah, every time he gets the ball, I'm thinking there's a chance here he's gonna do something.
Yeah. And he's the like, he'll play the odd. He will not the odd, but he'll play more frequently than that. But he'll play good passes through to the middle. But it's just when he has to clip the ball wide, and he's under real pressure in his own box, when he's deeper in his own box. That's where he's so bad, and he's also weak in terms of his like shot stopping, and also like you saw his timing today. He should be coming to get that ball, or at least
Yeah, Jones for the
coming.
Jones goal.
I don't know why he's sitting. His starting position there is awful, and he makes it even weaker by not going for it. And he just gives
Makes it easy, doesn't
gives
he?
Jones. It feels like he was worried he was going to give away another penalty. That's what I thought when he seen it.
Yeah. Because if that's like Allison or Edison, they just come and basically make themselves as big as possible and get as basically smother the area anyway around the ball.
Yeah.
Causing Jones probably then, I mean, you'd have to do more. He might even overthink it. Whereas with this one, it was just like by the time he got to the ball after the touch, he was like, oh well, it's a pretty simple finish.
Yeah, he makes it easy. Well, he stands static in his own 6 yard box, which you just can't do. You got to take another step forward and at least try and put him off,
Yeah,
hit him or hit the ball, something. But yeah,
and like you said
yeah,
before,
he's gonna.
well, he got caught as well with Gakpo, didn't he?
Mm.
When he was like really deep inside his own 6 yard box, pretty much literally just to the side of his goal line. And I thought,
Strangely, when he's like on the edge, like near his eight, he's actually a lot better. But it's when he's deep, that's when he
mm,
seems to panic even.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you've signed a bunch of goalies, haven't you? And you still haven't got like that
we've got
number
a
one
lot.
who's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Well, I, yeah, I would like to see more of Jorgensen and see if he's got the same sort of deficiencies, because they did sign him obviously to get ahead of Sanchez, but he's barely. He's not started with him, and I guess he will continue with Sanchez until maybe Sanchez costs him one more mistake. But I feel like if we're 6th or 7th in a couple of games' time, then he will make the change. He's been pretty brutal and ruthless with everybody else, so I
Mhm.
trust him to do the same again with the goalkeeper. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, he'll have to. I mean, Pep did it, didn't he? Pep did it when with Joe Hart and then with Bravo. Um,
Yeah.
Liverpool, we went through a good few under Klopp. Obviously, Mignolet, Karius, and Danny Ward was named as number one for a day, and then we signed
Right.
Allison, so dodged a bullet there. But yeah, no, I think that to be fair, yeah, you need to invest in a goalkeeper, a proper goalie. I mean, there is a former £75 million man playing at Bournemouth. Do you want to get him back in? No.
No, I'm gonna pass. How's he getting on, by the way? He keep
Uh,
clean sheet the other week. Yeah, Arsenal.
yeah, big win.
Yeah. Big
Mate,
win. Big win for.
do you think it was a red card?
Yes, I thought it was a red card. Yeah, yeah. There's no way the other player's getting around on the cover, so it's a red card.
Yeah, Ben White. Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought it was a red. Yeah, I mean as well. It's also I think you've got to take everything into consideration with it. It's a pass back by their own player as well, Trossard. So the
yeah,
likelihood is you're not even as switched on to be making you know,
yeah,
whereas like if it's just a through ball and everyone's facing that way already trying to get back, then you might have built up the momentum with your
yeah.
speed that you might be able to. Because I've seen Arsenal fans online showing like Ben White getting back to stop Sane or something in the Champions League and stuff like that, using that as like a reason why this one shouldn't have been a red. But at the end of the day, his own teammates put him in trouble.
Yeah.
Saliba's then semi-panicked I think, to be fair, 9 times out of 10, most defenders going to grab, aren't they? And then
Yeah, yeah,
Evander Sims
especially
just
when
got
you
down.
hit the halfway line.
Yeah. Well, did you just quickly then to what's his name? Tosin Adebayo? Is that it?
Yeah, yeah,
Do you think that was a red? Similar.
no,
Similar.
yeah, yeah. Maybe there was a bit more round on the cover, but maybe that's my blue tinted glasses. When
Maybe.
not, but yeah, it could have been easily given as red, easily.
I think after the high profile nature of Saturday, then it might have been. Well, it was yesterday, yeah, when we recorded this. But yeah, also, I think, if I remember rightly, uh, the ball bounces in a way as well that looks like it was going more towards Gusto on the cover. So I think Jota would
Yeah,
have to have arced his run just ever so slightly to take the ball inwards, which obviously I think
yeah,
plays a part. So
yeah,
I think even though as similar as they do look, they are a little bit different. So I do think yellow
yeah,
was right.
yeah.
You think?
But it
Well,
didn't help us anyway.
yeah, it
Well, would have been.
didn't change the game really in the end. The outcome anyway, hopefully. But yeah, no. Do you think? What do you think about Arsenal then? Because obviously I can't remember which player it was who made them horror mistake for the second goal. Sorry, for the
Uh,
that led to the penalty.
um, who was it? Was it? Oh, I know someone left him short, didn't they? I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, back pass to Raya. I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Kivior, was it?
Was it Trossard again? No, no, it
No, no,
wasn't.
no, no. It was one of the defenders.
Whoever it was poor.
Yeah, yeah. It was incredibly poor. And
Yeah.
then that obviously just compounded misery. But do you think? How do you feel about Arsenal? Do you reckon? I mean, it's only going to be a blip, isn't it? I mean, we lost to Forest, we came back, so I'm imagining it
Yeah.
would just be a blip. Or you think there's more to it?
Yeah, I mean, but it's a lot harder chasing than it is. I feel like catching City. Like, yeah, it's just psychologically the three points behind them already. Yeah. Mm, I mean, it is a blip, but I suppose they have drawn a couple of games in there as well.
Hmm.
One was against City, to be fair. Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I still feel like it'll be a tight three-way race, but it's looking less and less likely it's going to be one of those seasons where it's like a 90,
Hmm.
95, 100-point season where it's going to pick you up the title. I think it's going to be more like 85, especially with those teams taking points off each other for sure. Like players being knackered after the international duties, hardly any breaks. But I think there's going to be
Longer
more
games,
injuries.
yeah.
And like we said before with Arsenal, biggest problem is their squad. Like take Odegaard out of that team, take Saliba out of that team. Now they're both he's suspended.
Yeah, misses our game as well.
Yeah,
I mean, granted,
exactly.
we're
And
away, but
they've got they've got us next. The week after that, I feel, and then they've got some maybe Spurs as well. I think they've got to play.
yeah, so
Um,
difficult games. Just when we
not
have a
easy.
difficult run as well. Do you think?
It's Newcastle.
Do you
My bad.
think? Do you think? Do you think? How are they going to feel about Arteta if they don't get over the line again this season? Are they running out of chances, or do you think they'll just finally get there? Because I know obviously it took Klopp a couple of seasons, but finally got one, and then came close a
Yeah,
few more times.
yeah. They're playing like we said last week. They're playing all of the dirty games to try and the week before the international break. They're trying every card in the book to make sure that they actually see it through this time. But I do feel with it, Odegaard out of that team and one more injury potentially, or a couple more injuries across that squad, they are paper thin in terms of what they've got in regards to attacking threat. But that Sterling started for them. Some risers
Your
of
mate.
our potential. They could be up. They could off it. Yeah, yeah. But in answer to your question about Arteta, I think yeah, if they weren't to win it and they weren't to fall within say 5 points of the leaders, then I think he's probably got another season, and then they might look to switch things up.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I don't know if they would. I don't know if it would be them switching him up or him leaving. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe taking on a new challenge, but because they're going to come close a few times, and they basically most people's choices outside of City, especially this season, because obviously with Slot, people might be changing their mind a little bit now, but it's still early days, and it just feels like they have to get over the line in one of those seasons, because.
Yeah.
But then again, I know it's difficult. I mean, Liverpool fans know as well as anyone how difficult it is to actually beat City to a title. So it's never going to be easy, but it just feels like they've got the squad for it. And if they don't, could be now or and then God knows how much longer before you have title winning squad again.
Yeah, but I suppose they're all fairly young, aren't they? And they're not going to get necessarily broken up. I guess, and they've got a good chance of. They've got really good. They'll probably be in top 4 favourites to win the Champions League.
Yeah,
as well.
true.
So he gets far in that competition this season and gets within 5 points. They'll probably keep him.
Did what do you think about the City goal today? Have you seen it? Stoned.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I think it's a goal.
Yeah, I think it's a goal as well.
It's a goal. He's too far off him to not be a goal. It's like you got to be standing on his toes, really.
Yeah, exactly. And Ben Foster, I seen tweeted about it, saying goalkeeper union. Well, you can throw that at me, but essentially, it doesn't give him the chance to set. And I'm thinking, he's just a little bit afterwards. I mean, if the ball's going past him and Bernardo's still in and around him, But other than that, I mean, they were trying to say it's controversial. I didn't think it was that controversial, to be honest.
No. No, I'm not doing that. But I feel for Gary O'Neill. That's a fucking absolute stinker. They're still in with a shout, obviously, because the teams down there are so bad in regards to Southampton and Palace and Ipswich are all low pointers. But you'd like to think that it's going to be between them and Palace maybe, and Leicester as the three, because Southampton and Ipswich look as good as gone. Despite me saying Ipswich would stay up, it's looking less and less likely.
It's looking bleak, yeah. And after losing to Everton, even more bleak.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel.
Who do you think will be the first to go out of the managers? It's that time.
I feel sorry for Gary O'Neill's difficult start. Obviously, did a really good job last season at Bournemouth as well, season 4. But I mean, how long can you stay on 1 point before they pull the trigger?
Yep.
Could Russell Martin be a contender? I mean,
Russell Martin.
They carry on the way they are, and he's always whinging as well, and carries on. It might have like Scott Parker vibes. when he literally said at Bournemouth like we're going down. I mean, yeah, cheers, mate. Maybe he won't be that bad, but yeah.
Yeah. Go on then. Go on. Who you saying, Luke? Who's going first? Russell Martin or Gary O'Neill?
I'd have to see Wolves' fixtures. Oh yeah, Lopetegui. He's got off to a bad start. He got smashed by Spurs. Yeah. Ten Hag kept himself in a job for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But we'll take that. So that's good. You know what? I'm gonna say. I can't figure out if Russell Martin's one of those that is so highly thought of that they just wouldn't sack him. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he went down, he would just stay in charge, and then he'd probably leave, and people would be like, he's good enough for another Prem job. Because apparently in the game he's highly rated, but...
Yeah, we've heard that before.
We have heard that before, so, I don't know how they feel about it. But I don't want it to be Gary O'Neill, but he needs to start winning, and fast. I don't know their fixtures, but I think he's gone.
Right, so I'll ask you for the third time. Who's going first?
Hey, I just said Gary. My mate Gary O'Neill.
Right, okay. Mate,
going
Gary
for?
is winning the sack race.
Who are you going for then?
Who am I going for? Yeah, it's got his name written all over it. BBC Sport breaking news tomorrow, hasn't it? Got those vibes.
Could be.
It's tight, but I mean, they I would personally give them longer because I feel like they've got good enough players at his disposal to get them out of it. But just defensively, it
Weak.
looks bleak for them, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying though. It depends on fixtures because if they're looking at it and they're like, okay, well next week we've got Southampton, for example. Well, he has to win, you know.
Would you like to know who's got next? His fixtures are actually pretty kind. So
Okay. Well, he
they
has had
have,
difficult ones.
yeah. So they've got Brighton next away, which is not easy, obviously.
No.
And then in November they've got Palace at home, Southampton at home, Fulham away, and then Bournemouth at home. So it's the age-old classic of whether they boot him before those games or they give him an actual chance to recuperate during those games.
Yeah. Or because basically if they, we've seen it before when they boot a manager when the fixtures become friendly, bring in a new manager and they start picking up points.
Hello. Was it Patrick? Who was the one at Palace that happened to? Was it Glasner? Or was it Patrick Vieira replacing Roy Hodgson? I can't remember.
I think it was both, wasn't it?
I think it was Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson replacing Vieira, wasn't it? That was the one that always sticks out in my mind.
Yeah, and also Roy Hodgson replaced De Boer. Do you remember De Boer?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was poor. Yeah,
Classic timing from Roy.
it was, mate. He came in, he took him, picked him up. But yeah, Glasner did the same. He did really well though, didn't he, when he came in? It's he did so well. I actually thought they would do really well this season. I thought they'd be like, teams that pick up some good points, good wins against some of the bigger teams, and be like quite comfortable in between the 8th to 12th, 8th to 13th range. But I guess losing the likes of Elise and players like that, and Joachim Andersen as well at the back, massive players to try and
Kills you.
replace, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. That's that they should be. I suppose, but it could be between them and Wolves who go for that remaining place. I still don't think Everton are fully out of it, albeit that was a really good win for them. Albeit again, they might smash the spend in January to make sure that they're safe. But good win for Leicester, really good win for them.
2-0 down, and
That
Roy
could be
Cropper's there, mate.
Yeah, was it Roy Cropper or was it just somebody who looked really like it, Roy
No,
Cropper?
it was. I swear it was Roy Cropper. He was singing, mate. He was loving it. Who can
That is the
blame him?
most random thing I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever heard of Roy Cropper being a Leicester fan before that.
No, neither have I. But when you come back from 2-0 down away at Southampton. Oh, did you see as well? We touched on Martin before. He like completely blamed whoever lost his man for the final goal, didn't he? He was like, one person cost us, one person. I was like, oh, that's gonna go down well.
Oops.
God, to be fair though, Steve Cooper back-to-back wins now in the league.
Yeah. I feel like he's one of those momentum managers. Once he gets on a bit of a roll, like he's in a good position. I don't know how much he'll be able to do that in the Premier League with Leicester, but yeah, he's one of those as well who's like sought after for the England job, and now he didn't even get so much as a mention, did he?
A Welshman getting an England job. Oh, we gone German,
Well,
haven't
he
we?
was,
So, well, you
was
have.
it yeah, wasn't he the like under 17s manager at some point or under 19s manager? So I think he was involved in the
Maybe.
setup when they won that World Cup.
Oh yes, yeah, of course. Because he managed Morgan Gibbs White, and then they spent pretty some on him, didn't they, for Forest? People raised their eyes at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you are right.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. So he'd already been in the setup. So, but to be fair though, he could be one for the sack. I know he's won the 2 games, but prior to that, there was loads of rumblings about the players being unhappy with him. They said they didn't understand his
Yeah.
tactics and stuff like that, according to newspaper.
That's not a good sign. You
No,
don't understand his tactics.
but now 2 wins later, everyone loves him again.
Yeah, so early to call it. So early.
Yeah, I think though, to finish up the podcast, considering you mentioned the England job, I mean, I'm a Welshman, so I really wouldn't care less. I mean, if we got a German manager, I wouldn't care as long as he was good, because it'd be nice for us to be consistent with qualifying for things. But as an Englishman yourself, happy, disappointed?
Delighted, obviously. I was absolutely devastated when he left Chelsea and seeing firsthand what he can do over the space of like a few training sessions with a team, certainly with a team of quality individuals. So, yeah, I think exciting. I think they would be failing those players if they didn't bring in a top manager to manage them at the World Cup. And it seems that if they weren't going to be able to afford to buy Eddie Howe out of the contract, then I think it's as good a choice as you could get, arguably better for cup
Level of
competition,
manager, yeah.
albeit I totally understand why you'd want an English manager there to showcase the continual pathway, but I think he's an excellent club manager. Like you give a cup manager who'll give us the best chance of winning it. It will supersede any of the other managers that we've got there. We've probably got the best managers on paper, the best players on paper. I know it's a cup competition, so it doesn't always equal that, but I'm excited. I'm really excited to watch England, and I haven't said that in a long, long time,
Yeah,
even with all the great players that we've got.
yeah. Didn't enjoy the Southgate tenure then, though.
No, not many parts of that, but I do think Tuchel will go back to a back three as well, which I think will suit them. So yeah, I can see him making that work. Maybe Cole Palmer and Bellingham as their inside forwards, and then Harry Kane up top.
Nice, yeah. Well, obviously
Yeah,
he had him last
yeah,
season, so he'll be acquainted with him.
yeah.
I think it'll be a good hire. I mean, the only issue you'll have basically is if it doesn't get off to a good start or you lose, any game, he's just going to get absolutely pelted for the fact that he's German. And I know a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, go on.
I know. I'm just literally going to say, yeah, a lot of people aren't going to be happy with the fact that he is German, so I'll use that against him. It still is a little bit weird when you think about the rivalry. I know, obviously, things that have happened in history, but even football rivalry. Um, it's a strange one, isn't it? Would Germany hire an Englishman as a manager? Do you think?
Yeah, we were saying this the other day, but who knows? Who cares? I don't care. I just want to see us win the trophy. So
Exactly. And Scotland
yeah.
hired Bertie Votes or Vots. So,
Yeah, look how that works out well for him. Classic manager from the archives there.
yeah,
He vaults.
exactly. So I don't think he'll do as
If
bad as he
if
did.
he has the same record, if he has the same record of him, then something gone drastically wrong.
Yeah, and you are in trouble. But yeah, no, that's a good place to leave it, and also give a little mini update from last week. We've added Eric Edmond on LinkedIn, and he got a shout out last week.
Bertie Volts is getting the call this week.
Oh yeah,
Is he still alive? Bertie Volts? Let's just
bit
double check that.
bit harsh.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if he's still alive. Bertie Volts.
Is he
Uh,
still alive and kicking?
it appears that way.
Good. Is he on? Is
He's
he
a
on?
German player.
Is he on LinkedIn?
He's on LinkedIn, but it does appear that he's still alive. So that's good. So he's
That's a good start.
still available. I mean, need to give
Yeah,
him a shout.
yeah. We'll get Eric Edmond and put you on the podcast. That'll be a good chat, wouldn't
The
it?
link up, link up there.
You didn't know you
Nobody
wanted.
knew, but everybody secretly wanted.
Yeah. So we'll get those on. We'll work on that. And I'd love our first guest to be one of those two. I don't. What would you even ask him?
Can't they just talk among themselves? Sure, they'd be make it far more interesting than us.
Yeah, they probably would. To be fair to him. But yeah, no, yeah, that's a good place to leave it. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave comments below with your opinions on what we discussed today, and we'll be back next week to discuss some more football with hopefully Bertie Votes and Eric Edmonds. So see you later, guys. Have a good week. Not even saying bye. Just out
Have
there.
a good week.
Well, well, it'll be Monday when it goes out.